In this very short little video, I am going to show you how to make a very delicious, nutrient-dense smoothie. It has very few ingredients, it's incredibly simple to make, and it'll take you no more than 30 seconds. So you may be wondering why there's a video. Several reasons. If you are very new to cooking, you kind of have spent the last several years with fast food or packaged food, you may not feel comfortable around the kitchen at all. So I just wanted to show you how to make something very delicious, very nutritious, and very fast. So if any of you are intimidated by starting in the kitchen, I wanted to show you how easy it is to do so that you would feel comfortable with using a blender and using some good ingredients. The other reason why I wanted to do a video on this is because it's true that you could just shove a variety of ingredients in your blender, whip it up and call it a smoothie. But I really want to encourage you to take a minute or two longer to gather the right quantities of some ingredients that go really, really well together, that have been specifically designed for maximum deliciousness and also maximum nutrition. So while you can sling things together, in the long run, you're going to find that the more delicious and the more nutritious your keto food is, the far more success and the far longer you're going to be able to sustain yourself on this way of life. Smoothies, historically, if you've come from another nutritional lifestyle or paleo or Whole30 or any number of other ones, or if you've historically been a gym rat, there's lots of lifestyles where smoothies are a really, really big thing. And they're not a really big thing on keto, but I understand that for a lot of people, smoothies are kind of a way of life for them. And also, they are incredibly fast for people who are super busy, coming from a place of fast food, or just so busy that sometimes a beverage that you put in a container and take out the door with you is where you're at. So I wanted to make sure that you did have some keto versions of smoothies for that, because the reality is that if you go on the internet and type in the word smoothie, virtually every smoothie that comes up will be laden with sugars of some kind. Maybe not spoonfuls of actual sugar, but very high sugar / carb fruits like bananas, berries, berries are not at the high carb end if you're looking at the fruit world as a whole, but still, if you put a lot of them in a smoothie, you're still going to end up with quite a large amount of carbs. So also honey, dates, other dried fruits, these are the typical ingredients of smoothies. So there's not a lot of keto smoothies out there. So if you are a smoothie person, I just wanted to give you some keto options. And if you're not a smoothie person, but you really are short on time and don't want to catch yourself out, especially when you're out and about, and end up eating some carb-laden thing because that's all you can find, this may be a great option for you, and you may decide that keto smoothies are going to be a thing for you. So this is very simple. There are just 5 ingredients, and I'm going to show you how fast it is to get this together. So we got our blender, and nut milk goes in. You can get the quantities for this in the recipe, and I do recommend that you follow the quantities for maximum deliciousness. So we've got our this was actually almond milk, but you can use any nut milk you prefer, although of course that will change the flavor, and so that might not be the flavor you prefer, but nutritionally you can use any nut milk that you have on hand. If you prefer hemp, you can use that. Macadamia, you can use that. You can even use the thin carton coconut milk, although that's significantly going to change the flavor of this shake. Almond milk is one of the most commonly used ones. So our almond milk is in. We have got our smooth almond butter. This is also brilliant if you have almond butter that has been in the fridge for a little while. You know, sometimes it can separate out, and no matter what you do, you can't get it back to that smooth liquidy consistency. This would be a brilliant way to use that up, which is what I'm doing here, which is why, if you're wondering why my almond butter seems kind of solid, that's why. So brilliant to use up that less than perfectly fresh almond butter that you may have sitting in your fridge. Then we are going to add collagen powder, and that is for your protein. And then we're going to add some cinnamon. And then the last thing we need is some ice. I've got my ice here, and if you're thinking how archaic it is that I'm using an ice thing, that's because I'm British and we don't have ice makers in our fridges, and so my fridge, if you can see it, doesn't have an ice maker anywhere in the inside, or obviously not in the door as you can see, but also does not have an ice maker inside. So there's my ice. That's about a cup. Obviously, if you want to make more or bigger or smaller volume, you can totally do that. So the ice goes in, and then I am going to blend it on high speed until it's completely smooth. Now, if you're new to using blenders, I recommend, if you have a variable speed blender, make sure that everything is down, low and off. And then what you want to do is you want to make sure the lid's on, because that can be a real mess if it's not. Make sure the lid's on, one hand on top, start the blender off on low, and then slowly turn the speed up. So this is going to be real noisy. I'll come back to chat with you in just a second. Pretty much with this smoothie, when all the cracking of the ice stops, you're pretty good to go. And although this is still quite icy, I'm just gonna give it another second while I go grab a glass. If you do stop your blender, turn everything back to 0 and then start again. I'm just gonna grab a glass. I'll see you right back here. And there is your almond butter cinnamon smoothie. It's perfectly iced. Drink it while you're catching up on social media. Put it in a to-go cup, take it in the car, take it with you for lunch. Cheers.